Hello and welcome to this GCSE science revision video for core chemistry looking at fundamental ideas. In this video we will look at atoms, elements and compounds, atomic structure, electron arrangement and how to describe atoms. All matter is made of atoms. There are over 100 different types of atoms called elements. Each one has a specific symbol in the periodic table. The atoms of a particular element are identical to each other. When atoms of different compounds join together or different elements join together, they form a compound. Compounds are represented by formulae that show how many atoms of each element are in the compound. The formulae can be worked out from the charge of the ions that make up the compound often. All matter is made from atoms. Atoms are very, very small. A molecule is formed when atoms join together using chemical bonds. There are over 100 different types of atoms. Many of them are different. In fact, all of them are different, and they all have different atomic masses. The atoms of a particular element, as previously stated, are identical from each other, which means that they cannot be changed chemically into any other different element. For example, a piece of pure sulfur only consists of sulfur atoms. No chemical process can break it down into a different substance. Compounds are substances that contain atoms of at least two elements that are chemically combined. For instance, magnesium oxide consists of atoms of oxygen and atoms of magnesium chemically bonded together. So, if we look at a few examples, hydrogen is an element because it's only made out of hydrogen atoms. Copper chloride is a compound because it's made out of both sodium and chlorine atoms. Atomic structure. Each atom is made of a nucleus containing protons, neutrons, and surrounded by electrons. The atomic number is the number of protons in an atom, and elements are made up of these three subatomic particles. The mass number of an atom is the total of its protons plus neutrons. There are a few key phrases that we need to be aware of. So atoms consist of electrons surrounding a nucleus. Electrons are contained in shells around the nucleus. The number of electrons is the same as the number of protons. They have a negative charge. The nucleus is the center of the atom and is made up of protons and neutrons. The nucleus has a positive charge. Neutrons are found in the nucleus of an atom, have a mass of 1 and no charge, and protons are also found in the nucleus of an atom, have a mass of 1 and have a positive charge. Around the outside of an atom are electrons. The electron structure of an atom is a description of how the electrons are arranged. It can be shown as numbers or as a diagram. Electron configuration diagrams for lithium would be as follows. The diagram would show each energy shell is a circle around the nucleus with dots or crosses on it to represent the electrons. The instructions to draw an electron diagram is that we would start off with an atom. Remember that the number of electrons it has is the same as its proton number. The first shell can only hold 2 electrons. All the other shells can hold 8 electrons. Electrons, when you go above 4 in all but the first shell, pair up. Only move onto the next shell once the shell is full. So, for instance, hydrogen has 1 electron, so you draw 1 electron on its inner shell. Helium has 2 electrons, so it would get 2 electrons on its inner shell. Lithium has 3 electrons, so as the inner shell can only hold 2 electrons, you move onto the next shell. And so on, pairing up the electrons after the shells go above 4 electrons. When we look at atoms in the periodic table, we can describe a lot from them. So, the bottom number describes how many protons it has. So in the case of fluorine, it has 9 protons. The symbol in the middle shows what the element is, and the top number is the mass number. The mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. Because we know the number of neutrons, we also know the number of electrons. So if fluorine has 9 protons, it must also have 9 electrons. To work out the number of neutrons, we do the mass number minus the number of protons. In this case, 19 minus 9, so fluorine has 10 neutrons. Because we know that fluorine has 9 protons, it must have 9 electrons, so we can work out what its electron configuration is. Its first shell can hold 2 electrons, which means that there are 7 electrons to go in the second shell. Things to remember about charges are that an atom wants a full outer shell. If it has less than 4 electrons in its outer shell, the shell will lose them. If it has more than 5 electrons in its outer shell, the shell will gain them. If an atom gains electrons, it gets a negative charge. If an atom loses electrons, it gets a positive charge. So, in the case of fluorine, as it has 7 electrons in its outer shell, it will likely gain 1 electrons to give it a negative charge. Finally, remember when you're revising, start early, turn off distractions, and quality revision is a lot better than quantity of revision. Please have a look at my other revision videos to help you revise other parts of this topic. Thank you for watching and good luck with your exams.